here. There we go. James
Now, REO
Larson.
Speedwagon is a favorite of yours, we hear.
I do
Mr.
like
Pardo.
REO. Now, this is an interesting story, and interesting is a very strong word. I grew up in a place called Hometown, Illinois, which is a south suburb of Chicago. It's separated from Chicago by 87th Street. It is 1 mile by 1 mile. It's a small little town.
And it's called Hometown. Damn right
like
it is.
It was built for, I believe, the Korean War veterans when they returned from war.
Okay.
And so, anyway, the point is this: it's 1 mile. It's a small town. I grew up on Corcoran. Kevin Cronin, the lead singer of REO Speedwagon, grew up on Costner.
Okay.
Which is 15 steps away from where I grew up.
Wow.
So I used to be in the record business back in the day, and I met Kevin Cronin, and I was like, oh, you know what? I've got something in common. I'm going to tell him that we grew up around the corner from each other. So I said, Kevin, Jimmy Pardo, you and I both, we have something in common. We both grew up in Hometown, which, again, nobody lives there.
Right.
Let alone two guys in quote-unquote show business.
Show business, yeah.
So I said, we both grew up in Hometown. I was on Corcoran, you were on Costner. And he looks at me and he goes, is that right? And then walks away from me. And I was like, you don't find that interesting at all, apparently.
Yeah, obviously not.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then walks. Last song, people.
Oh, that's good.
Rolling.
Jimmy Pardo in the studio with us. He's playing Penguins tonight and tomorrow. Now, the show, we talked about it. It's going to be you running your mouth.
Yeah.
There's going to be some musical guests tomorrow. Did we ever get the drummer's name?
I don't have the drummer's name. The guitarist's name is Dan Padley. And then I just emailed him because I'm a horrible promoter. But Ken Schultz is the opening act, the opening comedian. And I think some kid named Travis is the MC.
Is Billy going to be there? Is the Billy? Who is?
There's no Billy on this show.
Billy Heft is opening.
Billy Heft
Oh
is
yeah, we got Heft.
That's what
That'll sell our tickets. We got Billy Heft coming. Ken Schultz, and then tomorrow night I got this guitar and drums, and so that'll be fun. And then a keyboard player after my show, if you want to stick around and hear a guy noodle around on the 88s.
There you go.
I think it's actually it's a dueling piano.
It's one guy, James.
Listen,
if he's dueling, he's fighting himself. He's fighting his own demons.
Jeff loves dueling pianos and hypnotists. This guy.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, he's just addicted to that.
But it's only one of the guys, right? It's not a dueling piano tomorrow.
So,
yeah, he's by himself. It's Eben.
That's Jeff.
It's Evan.
That's Jeff Johnson, by the way. He's we're going to have him on the show next week. I wrote a blog about Jeff. He's the guy that goes on the road with the Impractical Jokers. He's actually a bigger star.
Promote him next week, James.
All right, put the
Jimmy Pardo's here.
This is my segment. I got up in the morning for this.
That's true.
I'm not going to sit here and hear Jeff go, yeah, then I got him a sandwich, and they had a great show.
Speaking of getting up early, you did this television interview over at CBS.
Is that right?
Over at CBS 2, and you saw a very Midwest thing. A guy walked in with a jacket from the other radio station over there. And he wouldn't take his jacket off. So what did you say to the guy?
Well, I didn't say anything to him. I asked to
Janae.
I said, why wouldn't that guy take off his jacket? And she's like, what guy? I go, the guy that was just here wearing the jacket.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, is that right? Last song, people.
Man.
Kevin Cronin's got the greatest crowd rap at the end of Live, You Get What You Play For, where they finish Golden Country. And he goes, well, good night. Y'all have a happy Halloween now, will you? What rock and roller tells their audience to have a good Halloween?
Yeah.
Y'all have a happy Halloween now, will you?
Well, it's kind of like the cheap trick. I want you to want me. And you know the story behind
I do.
that. He's in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's like, listen to me. I want you.
But we didn't know that growing up in the 70s when we bought that live at Budokan. We didn't know that. We just thought it was the coolest crowd rap ever. I want you. Like, yeah, you're darn right you do.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Yeah, you all have a happy Halloween now, will you?
So I want to talk about, you do some work, obviously, a lot of work on the Conan OBrien show.
Yes.
What's that like? You started off, well, just tell everybody what you do in the Conan show.
Well, I started off, I got hired to work on the Tonight Show with Conan OBrien as the warm-up comic. And then, we were on there we did that for 7 months. We all got fired. Probably read about that in the paper.
Right, yeah.
Jay Leno wanted his job back. Somebody thought that was a good idea.
Is Jay Leno a bad guy?
Yeah, listen, I got my cars. I drive my cars.
Like, he does a good Kevin Cronin.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think, Kevin? That's right. So, I don't do impressions, obviously.
I was wondering if you did any.
No, it's obvious I don't. No, I did two, and they both sounded like Paul Stanley.
Who wants to taste the alcohol?
They do all. That's good. Paul Stanley, Kevin Cronin, and Jay Leno all kind of sound.
Yeah, they're all right in here.
And they've never been in the same place at the same time.
That's right.
So what's it like working on this awesome show?
So it was great. So then we moved over to TBS, and I went along with them with the. I was still doing the warm-up act. And
so now you can swear.
No. Well, I mean, he can. I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I went from doing the warm up to then they started having me do remotes. Then I started doing some skits and remotes, and I ended up filling in for Andy Richter as the co-host for a couple of shows. And I'm a guest on there every 6 months, and it's where I get to come on and just do panel and talk with Conan. He's the greatest guy, and he's the funniest guy in the world.
I've heard that.
And the entire staff there is great. And I don't work there anymore on a daily basis. I have a development deal. I still work for him.
You're a freelancer.
No, I work for him. And yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Mark.
And you've got a very successful podcast. Tell folks about that where they can check it out.
I have a podcast called Never Not Funny that people seem to enjoy. It's almost 12 years we're doing this thing now. Wow. And yeah, I was in early when we were sitting at my dining room table recording it. And now we have our own studio in Sherman Oaks. And it's great. And it's just me and my co-host, Matt Belknap. We have different people on every week. Conan's done it a couple times. John Hamm is on all the time.
You know who you should have on your show? Jeff Johnson to talk.
Oh my God! I want to talk about the guy that is touring with the Impractical Jokers. And then I won't have the Jokers on my show. I'm going to have the guy that gets them a hot sandwich.
A sandwich, yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm not going to have those guys come on. Hey, pull your pants down. I don't need any of that nonsense.
Right? Yeah, exactly. All these practical jokes they do. So before we let
hey, is that poop on the ground? No, it's not. I thought it was poop.
I know.
It was just plastic.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Now we're going to make you do something funny at the end of the show.
By the way, those guys are great. I'm just making fun of them because Jeff's in the room. I think those guys are terrific.
So as we
hey, shake my hand. That joke's very practical.
As we wrap up, I want to let everybody know about the big shoe tonight and tomorrow. Penguins Comedy Club. If you're looking for something fun to do, you want to get some laughs, come on out and see James Pardo. This guy, Jimmy, will be running his mouth. And we found out we have a small world. We both worked for the same producer, just in different roles.
Yes.
And we both didn't have the greatest experience.
No, I did. Well, I had a horrible one.
Yours was horrible. Mine was, I think he always wanted to get rid of me. But he's like, Jimmy, you're doing a great job. You're actually doing a really great job. But I don't think he ever meant it because he had a guy in L.A. that he wanted to bring in.
He couldn't wait to get this guy in there.
He wanted the guy in there, but we got rid of him first. So I said, you're the guy that's out. I'm going to stay in.
So you're still doing this?
I'm doing this show, yeah. It's called the Heartland Poker Tour. It's a national show, and it's very boring. We talk about poker. Not. We say, Bill's got 2 aces. Oh, my God. Jimmy's got pocket kings. He's going to go all in. He ran him right into the buzzsaw of Joe's aces. It's Queen 9-7. Joe flop. It's really bad TV.
But people love it. Wow. When I'm in a hotel at night and poker pops up, it's like, I'll watch this. I don't root for anybody. I don't like any of the people playing, but I'm glued to it.
For some reason, and we call it it's a remote control stopper for guys like us. It's like we just get hypnotized by it.
Yeah.
And I can't watch it anymore because it bores me, but they send an envelope once a month, and it's like this, and it's sealed, and it comes to my P.O. box.
I see.
The show is like HGTV for men.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
We got to get out of here, so let's give him a round of applause.
Okay, let's do that.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Why am I clapping?
Yeah, you're clapping for yourself. And that interview you did on CBS 2 this morning, I have never seen a better TV interview. The questions she gave you were phenomenal. She's like Barbara Walters.
I'm very lucky that people wanted to speak to me to promote my show.
Yeah, and you sat there with your legs crossed, I noticed. You did
I was very comfortable on my couch.
That's what you're standing in the studio here.
I'm very uncomfortable in here. I'm ready to move and get out of here.
Anything you want to say to all the folks that are thinking about going to the show? You're going to take us out to break. We're going to do this in 3, 2, beep.
Yeah, just come to the show. It's that simple. I don't know what kind of build-up you need.
Oh, what a
Or
voice.
don't come. Do whatever you want to do. Live your lives.
And now what we're going to do, we're just going to play 12 minutes worth of commercials. Let's do it.